Sometimes we engage in dhikr, but the heart is not connected with the tongue. How do we address that?
First point, you need to continue doing dhikr. The shaitan will come and hunt you from this angle and say, how dare you do this? You are not in the state of complete dhikr. So you are heedless even if you are doing dhikr. So the shaitan will tell you, don't do that. No, you should continue doing that. And then try your best to think about what you are saying, to think about the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, not just in your tongue. You make this as a robotic, but you drive this from the tongue to the heart. Ibn Ata'illah rahimahullah, he has in his book, the Wisdoms or Al-Hikam, around 2 or 3 wisdoms on that topic, that never stop dhikr of Allah even if you don't feel it in your heart. That later, inshallah, the heart will respond to the tongue and the tongue and the heart will work together. Paraphrasing, of course, the statement of Ibn Atta. So this is the cure. Don't stop, keep doing it, but take it to a different level, inshallah ta'ala.
Okay, Jazakumullah khairan. The next question we have, Sheikh, is time spent in watching TV, playing games, listening to podcasts is ghafla. And we have YouTube, we have Netflix, our children's lives are filled with PlayStation. So how can we fix this? Because it's very addictive, especially for our children. And when they're studying, they feel they need to relax and they need to chill.
Yes, this is one of the common diseases which we have in every family, actually. And we might ourselves be affected by this, might be following a series on Bollywood or Hollywood or what have you. Especially in Ramadan, in the Arabic channels, they prepare the best series in Ramadan, believe it or not. Even if it has nothing to do with Ramadan, more likely, 99% has nothing to do with Ramadan. So people are, in two minds. Okay, shall we watch this series or shall we occupy ourselves with something more useful? Nothing wrong if you have some time to spend on one of the useful series, like Ortogrol people watched Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, something useful. It's not wasting time at all. It's just bringing history to reality and learning from that. And what about normal programs? It has nothing to do with deen or what have you. If it's decent, then as well, this is entertainment. Entertainment is not haram. Depends what the content is. So all depends on the content. If the content is decent, that's fine. And we have to be moderate, not to spend too much time on that, and not to prevent ourselves 100% from any entertainment, because this is not the prophetic way. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the hadith, sa'a fa sa'a, an hour for this and an hour for this. It means you have to keep the balance within the halal parameters, not outside it. You are mute, Aisha.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. One more question and then I'll have a question for Sister Rahma. So this is about balancing the never-ending demands of dunya and our spiritual growth. Sometimes it's not about chasing after the dunya, but the burden of responsibilities of our situation, or in the situation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed us in. And though we know that He doesn't burden us beyond what we can bear, it's still difficult managing our time and the pressures. So what are the practical tips to remain connected without being chewed up by the dunya?
It's everyone's situation, this question, actually. We are that person in many scenarios. My advice to myself is we need to take a step back and see how to reprioritize our priorities, because the lockdown actually and the pandemic with all the pain in it, it brings as well goodness with it, because it showed us what the real priorities are in life. You see? So, accordingly, we need to readdress the issue of, do I need all these kind of engagements and this and that? And I can live without these things. So, why should I then spend more time earning more money to cover these things which I don't need? I want, but I don't need. So there's a difference between our wants and our children wants and their needs. So you had the basic needs, definitely. You had the necessities. Number one is the obligation is to cover the necessities, daruriyat, which we say in Sharia, and then the other level is hajiyat, the needs. The third level is the luxury, tahsiniyat, we say. So we have three levels. So level number one, Allah will question you about it, if you fulfilled it or not, the necessities. To the extent in necessity scenarios, you can eat the haram because it's necessity. So yes, you are not to be blamed to get into the necessities. No, it is an obligation to cover the necessities. The needs, sometimes it's very close to the necessities. So it's still in the safe zone. But when it goes to luxury, yes, posh holidays, this, that, and the other, and posh cars and posh what have you, then you don't need this. So you don't need to do much uh, engagement with dunya on the expense of your deen. You don't. You can't do this. So you need to readdress this and reorganize it and prioritize it. And along the way, definitely we ask Allah's support, Allah's help, Allah's guidance. And I probably told some of you this story that I have some friends. They decided to cut down on some of the work which they do because they don't have much time to spend with their family. And they said, okay, I don't need this. And I need to spend more time with my family rather than bringing more money, which I don't need it actually. It's good, I can spend it in other things, but I don't need it. I need more time with my family. So you need to put this in the scale when you do the assessment. And then Allah inshallah ta'ala will open the way for you to get this balance right, bi'iznillah.
Jazakumullah khairan, Sheikh. So, Sister Ahmad,